We need to talk about Chelsea. Honestly, imagine sitting down to watch your team play, and somewhere in the back of your mind, you already know. Not fear, not worry. You just know. The goals are not going to come. The pressing is not going to happen. The spirit that made you fall in love with this club feels like it is somewhere far away. That feeling, if you are a Chelsea fan right now, is not your imagination. It is real. And it has been real for a while. 6 games, 6 defeats, 1 goal, 1 single goal across 6 matches. That is not a bad run of form. That is a collapse. And this Saturday, Chelsea travel to Anfield to face Liverpool in one of the most unforgiving places in English football. Here at Lucy Chelsea Analysis, we are not going to sugarcoat anything. We love this club too much for that. So in this piece, we are going to look at everything. The good, the bad, and the parts that are very difficult to say out loud. Because if we are serious about understanding this club and where it is heading, we have to be honest with each other. So grab your tea, sit down, and let us talk about Chelsea. How did we get here? The story of a season gone wrong. Cast your mind back to a few weeks ago. Chelsea was sitting comfortably, and there was real talk about Champions League football. The club had invested heavily in the summer transfer window, brought in young and exciting talent, and the expectation was that this would be the season Chelsea showed what they were really building towards. Then something broke. Nobody can point to one exact moment. There was no single injury, no single bad result that caused everything to fall apart. It happened gradually and then all at once. 1 loss became 2, 2 became 4, 4 became 6, and now Chelsea sit in 9th place in the Premier League with 48 points, watching the top 5 pull further and further away. 9th place. For a club that spent what Chelsea spent in the last transfer window, 9th place is painful. But the table position is almost secondary to how the team has been playing. Losing 6 games in a row is one thing. Scoring only 1 goal in those 6 games is another level of concern entirely. To give that some context, the only time in Chelsea's entire league history that they lost 7 games in a row was back in November and December of 1952. That is over 70 years ago. If Chelsea lose at Anfield on Saturday, they will equal that record. Think about that for a moment. Do you think this squad has the mentality to stop that run on Saturday? Or does this feel like a group that has lost belief in itself right now? Rosenior is gone. So now what? When a manager is sacked mid-season, the club is essentially saying that things have gotten bad enough that a change had to happen right now. It is not a small decision. It disrupts the players, it disrupts the staff, and it creates uncertainty. But sometimes it is the right call. Rosenior is out. Callum McFarlane is now in as interim head coach. For most Chelsea fans, McFarlane is not a name they will have heard a lot. He is not the big name appointment that would send a message to the rest of the Premier League. But he is the man in charge now, and he has to find a way to get results out of a team that looks low on confidence and even lower on goals. After the 3-1 defeat to Nottingham Forest, which made it 6 losses in a row, McFarlane was asked about the performance. He did not try to spin it. He said the start was not acceptable. That kind of honesty is something Chelsea fans want to hear. But what they want more than honest words is honest effort on the pitch. Words are easy. Stopping the losing run is hard. The biggest challenge McFarlane faces is very simple to describe and very difficult to fix. Chelsea cannot score. In 6 games, they have managed 1 goal. That goal came deep in injury time against Nottingham Forest when the game was already 3-0 and there was nothing left to play for. It is the kind of goal that tells you nothing good about where the attack is at. Going to Anfield with an attack that is not scoring against a Liverpool side that is desperate for points is as difficult a task as any manager could face. If McFarlane can get even 2 goals out of his side on Saturday, it would be a massive step in the right direction. What would you want McFarlane to change about how Chelsea play tactically? Is it a formation issue, a personnel issue, or something deeper in how the team approaches games? Cole Palmer, the silence of a player who should be speaking loudly. There is a version of Cole Palmer that makes Chelsea fans fall out of their seats with excitement. The version that glides past players, drops a shoulder, and puts the ball exactly where it needs to go. The version that steps up to a penalty and strokes it into the corner with total calm. That version of Palmer exists. We have all seen it, but we have not seen it for a while now. Right now, Palmer is going through a dip that is becoming harder and harder to explain away. Against Nottingham Forest, he had a penalty. It was a real chance to get on the score sheet and give himself a lift. The keeper saved it. And after that, Palmer seemed to disappear from the game entirely. He was there on the pitch, but he was not really present in the match. These things happen in football. Every player, no matter how good they are, goes through rough patches. The question is how long the patch lasts and whether the people around the player are helping or making things worse. Right now, it feels like Chelsea as a team are not creating the kind of situations that allow Palmer to express himself. When a creative player has no platform to work from, they tend to go quiet. But the stakes have gotten bigger than just Chelsea. Palmer was one of the names expected to be central to England's World Cup campaign this year. Thomas Tuchel has been building England's plans, and Palmer was supposed to be right at the heart of them. With his form the way it is, people are now seriously asking whether he deserves to be in the final squad. Saturday at Anfield is a big opportunity. Liverpool have been shaky at the back at times this season. If Palmer can get into the game early, get a touch or two that works out, score or assist, it could unlock something in him. Players find form in moments. One good game can change everything. He needs that moment, and he needs it soon. Be honest with us. Do you still believe Palmer will come back to his best before the season ends? Or do you think he needs the whole summer to reset before we see the real him again? João Pedro, the man carrying Chelsea on his back. While Palmer has been quiet and the team has been struggling, one Chelsea player has simply refused to stop working. João Pedro has been outstanding this season and deserves far more recognition than he has been getting from the wider football world. Pedro is Chelsea's top scorer in the league with 15 goals. In all competitions, he has 20 goals. Those are seriously good numbers for any forward, let alone one playing in a team that has been as inconsistent as Chelsea. But the number that really says everything is this one. In Chelsea's last 9 Premier League goals, Pedro has been directly involved in 7 of them. He has scored 6 and set up 1. That means if Chelsea score, there is about an 80% chance it is because of João Pedro. When the team around him has been falling apart, he has kept going. He has kept pressing. He has kept making runs. He has kept putting the ball in the net. That kind of consistency when the people around you are struggling says a lot about a player's character. Going into Saturday, Pedro is going to be the main man once again. With Esteval confirmed out with a hamstring injury and Jamie Gittins also out with a hamstring problem, Chelsea's attacking options are thin. McFarlane will be leaning on Pedro heavily. The Brazilian will need to bring his best because Chelsea simply cannot afford for him to have a quiet game. Liverpool's defence is not at full strength due to injuries. If Pedro can get behind them early and test whoever is in goal for Liverpool, Chelsea might just create enough to make this a proper contest. Is Pedro getting enough credit from Chelsea fans, or do you think he is being slightly overshadowed by the conversations around other players? Europe is gone. Let us be real about that. This is the part of the conversation that nobody really wants to have. But here at Lucy Chelsea Analysis, we said at the start that we would be honest. So here it is. Chelsea cannot finish in the top 5. That was confirmed after the defeat to Nottingham Forest. The top 5 is gone. That means no Europa League. Chelsea could even miss the Conference League, depending on how the rest of the season goes. For a club of Chelsea's size and history, finishing outside European competition entirely is very difficult to accept, and the consequences go beyond just pride. No European football means fewer games next season. Fewer games means less matchday revenue. Less revenue means less money available in the transfer window. It also makes it harder to convince top players to come to the club. Why would a player choose Chelsea over a team playing in Europe? It is a question that the club will have to answer in the summer. There is also the question of what this does to the young players already at the club. Several of Chelsea's squad are at an age where they want to be playing in big European nights. If those nights are not available next season, some of them may start looking around. The club has to act decisively in the summer to make sure the squad stays together and gets the right additions. If Chelsea miss Europe next season, which players do you think are most at risk of leaving the club? And who do you think would definitely stay no matter what? Liverpool are not flying either. Here is why Chelsea have a chance. Before we write this game off completely, let us look at the other side. Because Arne Slot's Liverpool are not in perfect shape either, and there are genuine reasons to think Chelsea could make this a difficult afternoon for the home side. Liverpool won the Premier League last season under Slot, which is why expectations were high. But this season has been a real struggle. They sit fourth in the table with 58 points from 35 games, and they still have not officially secured their Champions League place. Every game in their run-in matters, and there is genuine anxiety at Anfield about what could happen if results do not go their way. Their last match was a 3-2 defeat to Manchester United. Liverpool actually came back to level it at 2-2 in the second half and looked like they were going to rescue a point. Then Kobbie Mainoo scored late, and that was that. It was the kind of result that hurts both the standings and the morale. Slot now knows that one more bad result could put his team in a very uncomfortable position, and the injury list at Liverpool right now is genuinely significant. Mohamed Salah is out with a muscle injury. Think about that. Liverpool are playing without their best and most important player. Connor Bradley, one of their most energetic fullbacks, is out with a knee injury. Stefan Bajcetic is out with a hamstring problem. Wataru Endo has an ankle injury. Hugo Ekitike is out with an Achilles problem. Giovanni Leone has a knee injury. But perhaps the biggest question is in goal. Their first choice keeper, Alisson Becker, is a doubt with a muscle injury. Their backup, Georgi Mamardashvili, is also out with a knee injury. Liverpool could end up playing with a keeper who is not fully fit or someone who is not their usual starter. For Chelsea's attack, specifically for Pedro and whoever plays alongside him, that is an opportunity worth targeting. There is also a 17-year-old called Rio Ngumoha, who Slot has been using off the bench. When he came on against Manchester United, Liverpool looked sharper and more dangerous out wide. Slot brought him on in the 75th minute, and just 2 minutes later the game was killed off by Mainoo. Some say Slot left it too late. Some say he was right to protect such a young player in a big game. But Ngumoha's pace and dribbling will be a real problem for Chelsea's fullbacks if he starts or gets time on Saturday. Given all the injuries Liverpool have, do you think Chelsea can genuinely exploit those gaps and get something from this game? The numbers behind this fixture. For those of us who like to look at the statistics before a game, there are some very interesting numbers to consider ahead of Saturday. Liverpool have not lost a Premier League home game in the month of May since 2015. That is 11 years without a May defeat at Anfield. In the 17 games they have played there in May since that loss to Crystal Palace in 2015, they have won 11 and drawn 6. Not a single defeat. The record at Anfield in May is about as good as it gets for a home side in the Premier League. Specifically against Chelsea at Anfield, Liverpool have not lost since March 2021. In the games since that result, Liverpool have beaten Chelsea twice and drawn twice. That means Chelsea have not won at Anfield in over 5 years. It is a ground that has not been kind to them. On the Liverpool side, one stat stands out above the rest. Dominic Szoboszlai has become the first Liverpool midfielder since Steven Gerrard in the 2013-14 season to score more than 10 goals and get more than 10 assists in a single campaign. Gerrard managed 14 goals and 14 assists that year. Soberschlei matching that kind of output shows just how important he has been to Liverpool this season and how dangerous he will be in the middle of the park on Saturday. From Chelsea's side, the Pedro numbers continue to impress. 15 league goals, 20 in all competitions, and directly involved in 7 of the last 9 Chelsea goals. Those numbers belong to a player in genuinely good form. Which stat surprises you most ahead of this game? And do you think any Chelsea player can put in a performance that creates a new stat worth talking about after the final whistle? What is at stake for both sides on Saturday? Let us be clear about what this game means for each side, because the motivation levels could not be more different. For Liverpool, a win almost certainly confirms their Champions League place for next season. They still have games against Aston Villa and Brentford after this, but 3 points on Saturday would make the job much simpler. After a difficult season where the defending champions have fallen way short of expectations, confirming top 4 would at least give Slot and the club something solid to build on. For Slot personally, this game matters a lot. There has been real pressure on him this season. Pundits and fans have questioned whether he can get Liverpool back to their best. A strong finish to the season, starting with a win over Chelsea, would take some of that pressure off and give him a platform to rebuild in the summer. For Chelsea, the stakes are different, but they are real. There is nothing left to fight for in terms of the table. Europe is gone. The only thing left is pride, momentum, and the chance to go into the summer with a little bit of positivity. Stopping the losing run at 6 is important. Going into the summer on a better note is important. Showing the fans that this squad still has something in it is important. And for McFarlane, this is an audition. If he can organize Chelsea well enough to get something from this game, he will have done something that raises his stock significantly and shows the club's owners that he is worth considering for a longer role. Match information, how to watch and key details. For anyone planning to watch the game, here are all the details you need. The game is on Saturday, May 9th, 2026. Kickoff is at 12:30 in the afternoon UK time. For Chelsea fans watching in the United States, that is 7:30 in the morning. In India, it is 5 in the evening. And for those watching in Australia, kickoff is at 9:30 at night. The game is being played at Anfield in Liverpool. In the United Kingdom, it will be shown on TNT Sports 1. If you are in the United States, you can watch on NBC. Fans in India can find it on Geo Hotstar. Australian viewers can watch on Stan Sport. The referee for the match is Craig Pawson. The VAR official is Tony Harrington. The summer ahead, what Chelsea must do to fix this. Whether Chelsea win, draw or lose on Saturday, the bigger conversation is already beginning. The summer is coming and decisions need to be made. The right decisions could turn this season's disappointment into a launchpad for something much better. The wrong decisions could make things even worse. The first question is the manager. Will McFarlane be given the job permanently, or will the club go and find someone else in the summer? There are arguments both ways. McFarlane knows the squad. He has been working within the club and understands the culture. But there might also be a feeling that a fresh voice from outside is what the players need. The second question is the squad. The young talent at Chelsea is real. Pedro is a top-level striker. Palmer, when he is on form, is one of the best in the country. The midfield has some real quality in it. But something is not connecting. The team does not play with enough urgency or enough creativity on a consistent basis. Whether that is a coaching problem or a personnel problem or both is something the people at the top of the club need to work out. The third question is the structure of the club. Chelsea have gone through a lot of change in recent years. Different owners, different managers, different philosophies. At some point, the club needs stability, real stability, not just the promise of it. A clear plan that everyone buys into and that stays in place long enough to actually produce results. One thing that gives real hope is the age of this squad. These are young players. Young players make mistakes. Young players go through difficult patches, but young players also grow. They get better. They figure things out. A couple of experienced additions in the summer, the right manager in the dugout, and a pre-season where everything is built from scratch with clear intent could make a big difference. If you could make one change at Chelsea this summer, just one, what would it be and why? From Lucy Chelsea, analysis, we are still here, always. There is something about being a football fan that nobody outside football fully understands. You do not choose your club. Your club chooses you. And once it does, you are in it for everything. The good seasons and the bad ones. The nights when you jump out of your seat and the afternoons when you sit in silence after the final whistle. All of it. That is the deal. Right now is one of the harder moments of being a Chelsea fan. 9th in the table, 6 losses in a row, 1 goal in 6 games. No European football next season. An interim manager. A star player out of form. It is a lot to carry, and nobody at Lucy Chelsea Analysis is going to pretend otherwise. But we have been here before. This club has been through harder times and come out the other side. The talent is there. The investment is there. The desire to get things right is there. What is needed now is time, a clear plan, and the right people in the right positions to make it happen. Saturday at Anfield is not the biggest game in Chelsea's history. It will not decide a title or win a trophy. But it matters to us because we care. We care about how the team plays. We care about whether the players look like they want to be out there. We care about whether there are signs, even small ones, that something better is coming. So watch the game, shout at the screen, debate it with your mates. Come back here and tell us what you thought. That is what this community is for. That is what Lucy Chelsea Analysis is for. A place where Chelsea fans can talk honestly about their club, celebrate when things go well, and work through the difficult moments together. The Blues might be going through a rough patch, but they are still the Blues, and we are still watching every single game. Come on, Chelsea, show us something on Saturday. Share your predictions and thoughts in the comments. The Lucy Chelsea Analysis community wants to hear from you before kickoff on Saturday.